Hi, welcome back to this channel. Today we're going to talk about INTJ and INTP. So just to be clear, this is not a personality channel. I'm going to talk more about business and entrepreneurship and just the tech journey. But I just want to get some of the personality stuff out of the way in this channel. So we're going to talk about INTJ, INTP, business, friendship, and romance. My real estate business partner is a INTP and I'm INTJ. And we are going to talk about some of the differences in the way we make decisions and approach the world. My first and third function are introverted intuition, introverted feeling. So I lead with those functions. Whereas my business partner, on the other hand, who's INTP, lead with introverted thinking and introverted sensing. So that's their number one and number three function. So as you can see, INTJ and INTP are completely different, like very, very different. We basically don't have any of the same cognitive functions in our first four slots. That is good in a sense because it leads to a different set of decision making. So I lead with introverted intuition and my third function is introverted feeling. Whereas my real estate business partner is introverted thinking and then he is more introverted sensing. So the way I make decisions is I can see where the future is going, and I also have my morals and values. And sometimes I was like, this is just how I feel, this is how I think the world should be, or this is how I think the world is going. Whereas for my real estate business partner, he will be like, this is the logical thing to do. And then this is how he has been historically. And so that's the first and third slot. And then the second slot is I try to think about how to get it done. INTPs, they tend to think, how can I gather more information? How can I check more sources to find the information? So a classic example is we are real estate business partners to buy these apartment complexes. And part of that job is to underwrite or analyze a deal. And I remember saying that explicitly that I think in this property, each unit is about $120,000 per door. And so that's basically how I think this will end up trading at. And I just made that number kind of like based on all the things I have seen of all the properties in the area. And my real estate business partner will check different sources such as like CoStar, Zillow, go do a bunch of calling the property managers nearby, checking with the property management company. And then after all the math, after all the analysis, it came up to be $120,000 per door. I was like, I told you so. So that is a classic example where I kind of know where this is going and where he never really want to settle down to say, okay, I guess this is it. Let's move on with it. They are always in a constant state of trying to get more information. Now, a very famous duo is Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger is INTJ and Warren Buffett is INTP. And they tend to dominate the tech scene. So some of the most famous CEOs are always INTJ, INTP, at least a lot of them. And so they make a great combo, just to be clear. And I really appreciate my business partner because I'm always moving. I want to get things done. Whereas he's always gathering. He wants to have more information. And he's also looking into the past. There does exist a set of things in which his conclusion is the same as mine. And so that's what makes a great team, right? But that doesn't mean that we, the best way I'll put it is I respect that way of decision making. I highly, highly respect it. It's just not my way. And so I really think that makes a great team. So my advice for the INTJ working with INTPs is that you're going to have a lot of frustrations to work with them. And you are always wondering why are they so good in what they do and you're not good at what they do. Yet, even though that's like the wrong way of doing things, except they are still ahead of you or even on par with you. So that's because there are multiple ways of solving the same thing. Okay, so that's on the business side. On the friendship side, I think we have a lot of camaraderie because we are all both intuitive types. So I like to like get things done, whereas INTP likes to explore. So, but they know all kinds of things. Like, take my real estate business partner again. He just knows the most random facts. And I was like, how do you even remember these things? And but that's what he does for fun. So I really, really admire that. Let's talk about kind of romance. So when I go on dates with INTP, I don't think I get along with them. But that's, in general, I just get along more with business partners and business settings and not in general with dates. So take that into account. But I do think that we come from very different ways of thinking and analyzing. And I remember like one of the INTP dates, like after the first date, they decided that I'm not a good fit. So that's very interesting that like they already know within the first date that I'm not a good fit. So I talk about the first function and the third function. Let's talk about the second function and the fourth function. So INTP, their second function is extroverted intuition, which is they're always gathering data, whereas the second function for INTJ is they are extroverted thinking, so they are always trying to get things done. Right? INTPs have this reputation for being lazy. INTJs have this reputation for being aggressive and ambitious and driven and obsessed. And so INTP is like chill, right? It's like they're cool. They're also introverted sensing. They like to take care of their like daily routine. So that's very interesting. And so INTP might find like, hey, this INTJ person is like too serious. That might be why on the dating world, they don't get along. Or at least not all women prefer someone that's like, you can be ambitious, but they can't want that's ambitious but chill, right? And not ambitious and obsessed. Now, I also will say that INTJs, their inferior function is extroverted sensing, and INTP inferior function is extroverted feeling, okay? I don't know if this is true, but I do think INTPs care a lot about what other people think, and they just, in general, they want to be like, in general. I don't think if you're INTJ that you crave that much being like. You could care less. That's my opinion. I felt that way. But you do care about being cool. Like you care about being like present in the room. You care more about that than being like. Everyone cares about being liked, just to be clear. But I do think INTPs don't really care about being cool. They're cool themselves. They actually think they're pretty cool. They care more about getting accepted, getting liked, feeling about how everyone is thinking, and making sure that people live in harmony. That's what they're not good at. Because they're so focused on the truth. And so sometimes the truth can hurt the general harmony or the general dynamic. But they care deeply being accepted. INTJs, I think they're instigators. They're usually the bad cop. I'm always the bad cop. I like to stir the pot because I don't really worry about how people feel. I do care about what they feel, but I don't care as much about like offending someone. On the other hand, I care a lot about being cool. Of like, wow, this person just such a nice presence in the room. How can I be as cool as that person, right? So that's very interesting. So I think I do think INTJs comes across as a little bit awkward because they want to be cool and they're not cool. They're anything but cool. And so INTPs are quirky and cool in their own right. They don't really care about it, but they want to be like. And so in romance, I don't necessarily think that they are compatible. They are both very smart. They can make a great team. I don't, especially the way they make decisions. Like one makes decisions based on feeling and getting things done. The other one makes decisions by like very logical framework, but they are always gathering information. Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm not a relationship coach. Personality type is not my area of expertise per se. This channel is only to share some of the things I know. But I think they I do think that history has shown us they make great business partners because they can solve a problem from different angles. They make great friends because they like to explore. So INTP likes to talk about different things, and INTJ likes to synthesize it and then see how they can achieve given this information. And INTP also give very pithy, logical statements. They're like, oh wow, thank you for summarizing all of this for me. But in terms of romance, maybe just because of my lack of experience, I have not been able to really strike chemistry with a INTP of the opposite gender. So there's that. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. Going forward, there are 16 personality types. I'm not going to do a combination of every two of them because that's, 16 choose 2. That's 16 times 15 divided by 2. 15 times 8 is, I don't know what that is. It's 120 combinations, I guess. And that's too many. I'm not, and also I'm INTJ, so I can technically only observe between INTJ and 15 other personality types. The other few ones, I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to do that. So yeah, but and also out of all the personality types, I feel like I tend to interact a lot with the INTPs, and it's just the domain that I'm in, and other INTJs. So again, this is just a very short video about what I have observed. Now I pick INTP as the first example because my real estate business partner and one of my best friends is a INTP, and I think I have a lot to I know quite well and how they interact. They are the most different from INTJ, but they are also but that also means that you have the biggest coverage of the truth, right? You have the highest amount of solving problems. So if you can work together with someone completely different from you, that's great. That means you're on the right track. All right. Thanks again for watching, and until next time. Bye bye.